What's up, guys? Welcome to Dynasty Drip today. I can't wait to get into the topic. I'm going to be going over the 5 guys that I basically just cannot stop drafting on my redraft teams this year. Before we get the video going, hit pause, drop a comment below of the guys that are ending up on the most of your redraft teams. If you haven't been to the channel before, hit like, hit subscribe. We're here to help you win your league. But let's get it kicked off, man. First player we're going to go over today, wide receiver, the gunshot victim from last year himself, Ricky Pearsall, dude. Now, this guy is at an ADP of about 61 on Underdog right now, and I just cannot stop drafting Ricky Pearsall to be my wide receiver 3-4 on these teams because the dude just has upside that I don't really think a lot of guys around him really possess, besides maybe some of the rookies in that range, an Emeka Egbuka, Matthew Golden. But Ricky Pearsall is kind of just set up to be the number 1 wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers to start the year off. I mean, Brandon Ayuk, no good news on his injury this offseason. Probably is not coming back until midway through the fantasy season. We have contract stuff coming out about Jawan Jennings. He might start the year on IR. None of this is good news for those other players, but who it is good news for is our boy Ricky Pearsall. Let's not forget, to end the season last year, he had a couple pretty big games when he kind of was able to operate as the number 1 wide receiver for the Niners. 8 receptions, 140 yards against the Lions. And this guy was a first-round pick last year. I mean, he has the upside. He just got slowed down by some unforeseen circumstances last year, i.e. getting shot. So the fact that this dude is kind of just going under the radar, even though he had all this steam going into the season last year, is really just surprising to me. I mean, he really brings like top 24 upside to your wide receiver core, and you are not having to spend that kind of just cash flow or ADP to go acquire him onto your team. So Ricky Pearsall is a guy that should be ending up on basically every single one of your teams as long as you're not reaching for him in like the 5th or 6th round. I mean, I would even consider him maybe late 6th, but 7, 8, dude, Ricky Pearsall, you should be drafting him every single time you get to that pick. Now, the next guy I'm going to talk about, he may not have the immense, cheapness that Ricky Pearsall has, but I just think Chuba Hubbard is just a very affordable price right now to acquire for your team, and it's why I keep ending up as his RB2 cents on a lot of my teams. I mean, he's going in the 50s in Underdog, but I have him ranked closer to a top 40 player. I mean, the dude was a top 15 running back last year, and nothing really changed besides them adding Rico Dowdle. But with no Jonathan Brooks, I mean, they were going to bring someone in, but it really still seems like it's just wheels up for Chuba Hubbard in what's probably going to be just a better team than the Panthers were last year. They were absolutely terrible last year, and Chuba was still able to produce. So I would imagine even if he maybe loses some touches, their offense becomes more efficient. And just in general, last year, Chuba pretty good rushing analytics. He's positive EPA, meaning he's better than the average player. Yes, he may not be like a Saquon Barkley burner, but he can carry the workload for your team. And if you're looking for an RB2 in this range, yes, I love Alvin Kamara. Yes, I love Kenneth Walker, but these guys go way before Chuba Hubbard goes. And sometimes you're getting Chuba Hubbard in the 5th round, where those other guys I like as my RB2 is more of a 4th round pick. So it frees you up to kind of target a wide receiver in the 4th round as well if you want. But just in general, Chuba Hubbard's going way too late. And if you're going RB to start your draft, then going wide receiver in rounds 2 or 3, or you're just kind of going RB heavy and you want 3 running backs in your first 5 picks, let's say, Chuba Hubbard's the guy to target. And he's just being underrated, I think, because of maybe some rookie hype, even though obviously I would take guys like Omari and Hampton over him. I really think Chuba Hubbard is more in that Travion Henderson range, and he has the upside to be a top 10 guy because he basically was that besides when he missed a couple games last year. And the third player I want to talk about, someone I just won't shut up about, dude, and it's because I think he's just going drafted lower than he should be, and that's going to be George Pickens. Now, on Underdog, his ADP is in the 40s, but that's because wide receivers get boosted up a lot on Underdog. On Sleeper, ESPN, Yahoo, he's going much later than that. And Pickens just brings way more upside than I think is really being bumped into his ADP right now. Personally, for me, I think Pickens is being drafted at his floor as a wide receiver. Pickens, the thing for him, dude, is like, I don't really know how good this Dallas defense is going to be. And for that reason, the Cowboys are going to have to throw. I don't know what they really have in their running game. You know, they have some unknown guys. Javonte Williams coming over from Denver on a one-year deal. You know, obviously Blue and Maffa in the backfield. Nothing crazy there. Yes, they have CeeDee Lamb, but NFL offenses support two wide receivers just every single year. Happens all the time, especially in pass-happy offenses. And when it comes to George Pickens, man, this guy's one of the best deep catchers in the league. Looking at his analytics from last year, plus 24.8 reception EPA on deep passes. That's passes over 20-plus air yards. Like, that's top in the league, dude. And the thing is he's going to get that kind of coverage with CeeDee Lamb on the other side of him. So I just think Dak's going to really take advantage of giving some go balls and some jump balls to George Pickens. And he has so much upside built into his game that's not really being factored into his draft position right now. I mean, if you can get George Pickens as your wide receiver 3, like, he brings wide receiver 2 upside. And a lot of guys, of course, maybe they do have that, but you kind of are having to draft them as wide receiver 2s, and that's just not the case with George Pickens. Next guy we're going to talk about, last 2 guys I want to cover in this video. I will go over a quarterback and a tight end I'm covering just because I do think it's important to get some guys here. And in general, I tend to go with more of a late QB, late tight end approach, especially in drafts this offseason. So why not talk about Dak Prescott as the quarterback I'm targeting? Currently going in the 100s on underdog ADP. He's going outside the top 12 QBs in general if you're kind of, you know, combining all the sites ADP. So he's one of those guys, if you don't take a quarterback and you're looking in the 8th, 9th, 10th round, Dak Prescott's been the guy I've been clicking draft on for the same reasons I just talked about George Pickens, guys. Like, their defense probably isn't going to be that good, and especially if Micah Parsons gets traded or misses any time to start the season, it's going to be even better for Dak Prescott in a pass-heavy offense. I mean, we forget Dak Prescott has 3, 4,500-yard passing seasons. Basically, one was 4,300, and those are the last 3 full seasons he's played. Yes, he's gotten hurt a couple times. I don't really think it's an injury bug thing for Dak. I think it's just some unfortunate injuries. But if this guy plays the full season, he's going to throw a bunch, and he has some of the best weapons he's had in years, getting Pickens there, re-signing Ferguson, and I just don't really think he has the running game to complement it. So I would not be surprised to see Dak throw over 550 times and just be a top 10 wide receiver going outside the top 10 of quarterbacks right now. So that's just a very good value for me personally. I mean, if you can get Dak Prescott after maybe you pair him up and stack him with George Pickens, or you just load up on all your other positions, Dak Prescott's the guy I am targeting. We're going to actually do one more wide receiver as well, and that's going to be JSN. Dude, I just think JSN in the 3rd round of your drafts is probably one of the best value picks you can draft. I really don't understand why he's going in the 3rd round. I really feel like in the past, players of his magnitude who are coming off a breakout year would really more profile as 2nd round picks, late 2nd round picks. But JSN's going in the 3rd round of basically every single draft I've done, and I keep ending up with him because he just has upside. He has breakout age. He has like the breakout year of last year. And I don't love Sam Darnold, but I do think Seattle's going to be a pretty good team this year. And I just think I'm not too afraid of Cooper Kupp. And JSN's the guy on that team. He's the most talented offensive player they have. And they're just going to get him the ball. And you're not having to pay like early 2nd round price where you're like assuming he's going to break out. You're paying a very fair price for JSN. I mean, just looking at his reception perception, obviously Matt Harmon does a great job here, but JSN's just an absolute stud on basically all of his routes, and I would expect him to run on the outside a little more this year. But before we get to our last player of the day, if you are not subscribed and you have any of these guys on your team, or you like hearing this kind of content, please hit subscribe. I need to get to 1,000. I need more likes. I need more comments. I just need help from everyone, so I appreciate you tuning into the channel. We're going to talk about my favorite tight end to go draft. It's going to be Tucker Kraft, tight end for the Green Bay Packers. He had like a mini breakout last year, but he's still going outside the top 100 all the time on Underdog. He is being drafted as a top 12 tight end, where Dak is kind of being drafted almost at 12 or outside the top 12. So you do have to take Kraft at that back end of tight end ones when you notice your league is kind of getting to the end of those. But I just think he brings some upside. I mean, he was a top 10 tight end last year. I want shares of that Green Bay passing offense. I think Jordan Love's going to be a little better this year. He's another late round QB I like targeting as well. But Tucker Kraft, just a very solid player, and he fits that scheme so well. And yes, I think Matthew Golden could break out, and I still think Jordan Reed has a chance to be good. But Tucker Kraft is just a very affordable guy who's going to be there every single day in that Green Bay offense. And he keeps ending up as my favorite late round tight end pick to go get. I'm also going to do a bonus player for you guys today. Another guy I really like at tight end, David Njoku. I think with Joe Flacco starting the season for the Browns, Njoku is going a lot later than I really think he should be. Or I just think he brings a lot of upside kind of as a late round tight end as well. But thank you guys for tuning in today to my 5 guys I'm just really drafting the most of in my fantasy football drafts. These guys are potential breakout sleepers, whatever you want to call them. They're the best values in your fantasy drafts, and you are going to succeed if you get these guys onto your team. So thank you for tuning in to today's video. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you later.